The night was silent, but the sky above was not normal. It was dark red, like blood spread across the clouds. Strange stars blinked in and out, as if the universe was breathing. The village below was quiet, the houses made of stone and metal. Standing close together, like a group of watchful eyes, in the middle of that silence, a sound broke the night. A boy's scream. "My mother won't wake up." His voice was sharp, full of fear. It echoed down the empty street. The boy was small, his skin pale with a faint silver glow, his eyes wide and shining with tears. He held his mother's hand, pulling it again and again, but she did not move. She lay on the ground outside their home, her body still, her face calm like she was only sleeping. But the boy knew this was not sleep. He cried louder, his voice shaking. "Please, somebody help." From the shadows, faces appeared. Tall figures, the other villagers, stepped into the dim red light. Their eyes were large and glowing, their bodies covered in thin robes. They looked at the boy but did not come closer. Their whispers filled the air. "Not her. Not again." One voice said, "Keep away." Another warned. The boy looked around. In shock, he expected help, comfort, someone to save his mother. But instead, he saw fear. The villagers turned their faces, closed their doors, and walked away. One by one, they left him. The boy fell to his knees. Tears dropped onto the dusty ground. His small hands clutched his mother's, shaking it desperately. "Wake up, Mama, please. Don't leave me." Silence answered him. Silence, and the sound of doors shutting at the edge of the street. One figure did not turn away. A stranger stood there, different from the others. His skin was not glowing. His clothes were not robes, but rough fabric, worn from travel. His eyes were human, small, tired, but kind. He was an outsider, the only human in the village. He watched the boy, his heart heavy. Something inside him told him to step back, to listen to the whispers of the villagers, but his legs refused. He had heard the boy's cry. He had seen the way the others abandoned him, and something deep inside him knew this was not normal. This was not just a sick mother. This was something bigger. Still, his feet carried him forward. The boy saw him and gasped. "Please, help." "Her, you are human. Maybe you can do something. Nobody else will listen." His words were broken by sobs. The man knelt beside the mother. Her skin was strange, pale, but with faint glowing lines running across it like cracks in glass. Her chest did not rise. Her lips were still. But her body was warm, too warm, as if fire lived inside her. The man pressed his ear close, searching for breath. "Nothing, she is not breathing." He whispered. The boy clutched his arm. "But she cannot die. She is all I have." His small hands shook with desperation. His glowing eyes begged for hope. The man looked into those eyes. He remembered his own past, the faces he had lost, the cries he once made. And now this boy, this small alien child, stood alone in the same pain around them. The villagers watched from their windows, whispering more. "Don't touch her," one muttered. "She carries the mark." Another hissed. The man ignored them. He placed his hand gently on the woman's chest. And then he felt it something strange, something wrong. A faint vibration under her skin, like a hum. A light, soft but clear, glowed beneath his palm. He pulled his hand back, eyes wide. The boy looked at him in fear. What is happening to her? The man did not answer at once. His mind raced. He had never felt anything like it. The woman was not simply unconscious. Her body carried something alive, something hidden. The boy's tears streamed faster. "Please, save her. Please. Please, please." The man closed his eyes for a moment. his own heart. Pounded, he could turn away like the others. He could walk back into the shadows and pretend he never heard the cry. But he knew he couldn't. He opened his eyes and placed a steady hand on the boy's shoulder. "I will help you." The boy's lips trembled, but hope flickered in his eyes. And then it happened. The mother's chest moved on its own once. A sudden breath that was not normal, not human. The glow spread brighter under her skin, forming strange shapes, symbols that burned like fire. Her body trembled. The boy gasped, "Mama." The man's eyes locked on the symbols. They shifted, changing, glowing brighter and brighter. He had never seen such a thing, but his instincts screamed at him. This was not just sickness. This was not just life or death. This was the beginning of something else, something dangerous. The villagers closed their shutters quickly, as if they already knew what was coming. Only the man and the boy stayed in the street, alone with the glowing body. The man whispered under his breath, "What have I just stepped into?" And the night answered with silence. But above, far away in the sky, a strange screech echoed across the red clouds. Something had heard the glow. Something was coming. The sky burned red above, but the silence in the street was heavier than fire. The boy knelt beside his glowing mother, his tiny hands gripping hers like they could anchor her to life. The villagers were gone, their doors shut, their whispers fading into the night. Only one figure remained, the human. He stood frozen for a moment. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. His instincts screamed at him to walk away. "This is not my fight. This is not my world." But the boy's eyes held him in place. Those eyes were wet with tears, glowing faint silver. They were not human eyes, but the fear in them was something he understood too well. The man swallowed hard. He had promised himself long ago never to care again, never to risk his life for another. He had lost too much already. But here he was, standing on a lonely street, listening to the desperate cry of a child who had no one else. The boy shook his mother's shoulder again. "Please, wake up. Please." The human knelt down close to the woman. The strange glow under her skin pulsed slowly now, as if something inside her body was alive. The heat from her chest burned against his palm. His mind whispered warnings. But his heart whispered something else. If you walk away, this boy dies too. Behind him, a voice cut through the silence. One villager had stayed behind, an older man with deep lines on his glowing face. He did not step closer, but his voice was sharp. "Leave her, human. Do not touch the marked." The human turned. "Marked? What do you mean?" The elder's eyes narrowed. The storm chose her. The sky fire left its sign. Those who carry it are cursed. If you stay, you will burn with her. The boy cried out, "She is not cursed. She is my mother." His small voice cracked with rage. He glared at the elder with a fire that didn't match his size. The human's fists clenched. He looked back at the woman, then at the boy. He knew fear when he heard it. The villagers weren't avoiding the woman out of hate. They were terrified. But fear or not, the boy was still alone. The human stood tall and stepped between the elder and the child. His voice was steady, though his heart pounded. "If nobody else will help, then I will." The elder shook his head and turned away. "Then your fate is sealed." His footsteps faded into the distance, leaving the human and the boy alone in the silence again. The boy looked up, hope and fear mixing in his glowing eyes. "You will help her?" The man nodded once. "I will try." He leaned down and touched the mother's wrist, searching for a pulse. Nothing. He pressed against her chest. The glow flared brighter, spreading up her neck in strange lines, like a map drawn by fire. The symbols twisted and shifted, alive, unreadable. The human pulled his hand back, his breath catching. This isn't sickness. The boy grabbed his arm. Then, what is it? Before he could answer, a deep rumble shook the ground beneath them. The dust on the street trembled. The boy's head snapped toward the sky, his eyes wide. The human followed his gaze. Above, the red clouds swirled, pulling into a spiral. A strange screech tore across the heavens. The same sound he had heard before, but now it was closer, louder. The boy clung to him. It's coming. The hunters always come when the mark appears. The man's stomach turned cold. Hunters. The boy nodded quickly, fear choking his words. The beasts, they smell the glow. They come for the marked. No one can stop them. The human's throat tightened. He looked down at the woman's glowing body, then back at the boy. It was true. The glow was like a signal, a beacon burning in the night. Whatever was out there in the storm could see it, could feel it. And it was coming closer. The villagers had not abandoned the woman out of cruelty. They had left because they knew what followed the glow. But the boy did not care. His small hands clutched the human's sleeve. Please, don't leave us. You are the only one who stayed. The human's breath shook. His mind told him to run, to survive, to leave before the hunters came. But the boy's words pierced deeper than fear. The only one who stayed. For a long moment, the man was silent. His eyes moved from the glowing sky to the trembling boy, then to the lifeless mother. His past whispered in his mind his own family he had failed, the cries he could not answer. He had promised never to feel that pain again, but pain was already here. Finally, he placed a firm hand on the boy's shoulder. His voice was steady. I won't leave you. The boy blinked, his tears catching the faint red light. His lips trembled, and he whispered, Thank you. The human turned his eyes back to the sky. The spiral grew larger, the screech sharper. He tightened his fists. He had no weapon, no plan, no idea what kind of beast was about to fall from the storm, but he had made his choice. He would stand, he would fight. The ground shook once more, but then the noise faded. The storm above grew quiet, the spiral of clouds closing little by little. The hunters had not yet arrived. But the warning was clear they were near. The boy stayed close to the human, clutching his arm, his small glowing eyes fixed on his mother. She lay motionless, her skin pale, but alive with shifting lines of light. Strange symbols moved under her skin, glowing brighter and dimmer as though they breathed. The human lowered himself beside her again, forcing his hands to stay steady. He pressed 2 fingers gently to her neck. No pulse. He leaned close to her chest. No breath, and yet warmth. Too much warmth, like fire hidden inside flesh. This isn't death, he muttered, almost to himself. The boy leaned forward quickly. Then what is it? Tell me. The man shook his head. I don't know. His voice was low, but his mind was racing. He had seen sickness before, wounds, even poisoning. But this was different. This was not a failing body. This was a body, carrying something else inside it. Something that did not belong. He touched her chest again, this time letting his palm rest against the glow. For a second, he felt nothing but heat. Then a vibration, faint but steady, like a whisper from beneath her skin. It hummed in his bones, unnatural and alive. The boy saw the man's face twist. What do you feel? The man pulled his hand away, staring at his palm as though it might burn. Something moving, not her heart, not her breath. Something else. The boy's lips trembled. The storm? The man turned to him. What storm? The boy looked down, tears slipping down his silver cheeks. It happened last night. The sky opened, fire rained down. She shielded me from it, but the light touched her. She screamed, and then she changed. His voice broke. After that, she never woke up. The man listened in silence. His eyes went back to the woman. So that was it, the storm. Whatever had burned the sky had marked her, left its touch inside her body. He looked closer. The glowing lines on her skin twisted slowly, like rivers of fire. At first, they seemed random, but then he realized they weren't. They were forming shapes, symbols not written by any hand he knew. They shifted and turned, never staying the same. But they meant something. The boy noticed his stare. Do you understand it? The man shook his head slowly. No, but this isn't illness. This is transformation. The boy's eyes widened. Will she wake up? The man did not answer right away. His throat tightened. He wanted to give the boy hope. He wanted to say yes. But what he saw in the woman's body was not life returning, it was something else. Trying to rise, she is fighting, he finally said. I don't know if she will win. The boy's face crumpled. He pressed his forehead against his mother's hand, whispering, Fight, Mama. Please fight. The human turned his head. Uneasy, he could not lie. He had seen too many battles, too many bodies. But something in the woman's glow made his chest ache. He had the strange feeling that she could wake, but not as she once was. A sudden crack echoed above them. The sky split again, red lightning tearing across the clouds. The man's eyes snapped up. He felt the air grow heavy, like the world itself was holding its breath. The boy looked up too, fear shaking his voice. They are close. The hunters. The human stood, scanning the sky. His fists tightened. He had chosen to stay, but he had no weapon, no shield. No way to fight what was coming. And then he heard it, the low growl rolling across the horizon. Not thunder, not storm. Something alive. The boy clutched his mother's arm. If they find her, they will take her. They always take the marked. The human frowned. Take her. For what? The boy's voice dropped to a whisper. To feed. The man's stomach turned cold. His eyes moved back to the mother. The glow, the symbols, the heat, it wasn't just sickness. It was a beacon. It was calling them. And they were answering. The human knelt quickly beside the boy. Listen to me. If the hunters come, you must stay behind me. Do not run alone. Do you understand? The boy shook his head fiercely, tears flying. I will not leave, Mama. The man grabbed his shoulders, steady and strong. I didn't say leave her. I said stay behind me. His voice was firm, like steel. If they want her, they'll have to go through me first. The boy blinked, shocked. Nobody had ever spoken like that before. Nobody had ever stayed. For the first time, a spark of hope flickered in his glowing eyes. The human stood again, his shadow long under the red sky. His jaw tightened, his heart pounded. He was only a man, but he had made his choice. The boy whispered, voice trembling, but full of belief, you are not afraid. The human did not look back at him. His eyes stayed on the clouds, where the growl grew louder, closer. I am afraid, he said softly, but I will not run. The boy's small hand slipped into his, cold, trembling, but full of trust, and then the clouds above ripped open. Something dark and winged broke through the red sky. It screeched, tearing the night apart. The air shook, the ground trembled. The hunters had arrived. The red sky split open. From the storm above came a shriek so sharp it felt like knives cutting through the air. The boy covered his ears and pressed against his mother, trembling. The human looked up, his chest tightening, his hands curling into fists, even though he knew fists would not be enough. The clouds twisted, and then it came. A creature fell from the storm like a shadow given wings. Its body was dark, its skin armored and rough like cracked stone. Its eyes glowed the same color as the mother's symbols, bright, burning lines of fire. Its wings spread wide, longer than 2 houses, and with every beat, the air shook. The boy gasped, "Hunter." The human stood in front of him, planting his feet firmly on the ground. He forced his voice calm, though his heart raced. "Stay." Behind me, the creature landed with a thunderous crash, its claws digging into the earth. Dust exploded into the air. The boy coughed, clinging tighter to his mother. The hunter lowered its head, sniffing, its long tongue sliding out like a blade. The glow from the mother's chest pulsed, brighter and faster. The hunter growled. It had found its target. The boy screamed, "It wants Mama." The human's jaw clenched. "I know." The hunter moved closer, each step shaking the ground. Its tail, spiked and heavy, dragged across the stone street, leaving deep scars behind. Its breath was hot and rotten, its teeth like rows of knives. The human scanned the ground quickly. No weapons, only rubble, broken stones from the street. He bent down and grabbed one, rough and sharp in his hand. Against a beast like this, it was nothing. But it was all he had. The hunter roared, a sound that rattled the windows of the silent village. Behind closed doors, the villagers shivered but did not move. Nobody came out. Nobody dared. The boy whispered, his voice shaking, "You cannot fight it. Nobody can." The human glanced back at him, eyes steady. "Then I will die trying." The boy's lips parted in shock. Nobody had ever said such words. Nobody had ever chosen to fight for them. His heart pounded, torn between fear and hope. The hunter lunged forward suddenly, its claws striking the ground where the human had just stood. The man rolled to the side, dust exploding around him. He threw the stone, and it cracked against the beast's face. The hunter hissed, its head snapping toward him, eyes burning brighter. It had noticed him now. The man stood, breathing hard, another stone in his hand. His arm ached, his chest burned, but he shouted at the beast anyway. "Over here, leave them." The hunter roared again and charged. Its wings spread, its claws raised, its teeth flashing. The boy screamed, the man ran, pulling the monster away. From the boy and his mother, his boots struck the dirt, his lungs burned, but he did not stop. He darted into the open square, the beast crashing after him, tearing stone and wood apart in its fury. He turned suddenly, grabbing a broken pole from the ruins of a stall. The wood was splintered, sharp at one end. He held it like a spear, though. His arms trembled with the weight of fear. The hunter lunged again. He thrust the pole forward. It struck the beast's chest, but snapped in half like a twig. The creature barely flinched. Its claws swung, ripping the ground open. The man leaped back, the wind of its strike brushing past his face. The boy watched from the distance, his hands clutching his mother. Tears streamed down his glowing cheeks. "Please, wake up. Please." The glow on the mother's skin pulsed again, brighter now, spreading across her arms and neck. The symbols twisted faster, almost alive. But she did not move. The man stumbled. Landing hard on the ground, his chest heaved. The hunter loomed above him, shadow covering his body. Its mouth opened wide, rows of blades ready to crush him. For a heartbeat, he thought this was the end. Then he heard the boy's voice again, screaming through the dust. "Don't die. Please don't leave us." The man's eyes snapped open. His muscles screamed, but he rolled away just as the jaws crashed down where his head had been. He grabbed a shard of broken stone, its edge sharp, and slammed it against the beast's face. It cut, only a little, but enough to make the hunter roar in pain. The creature staggered back, its tail whipping, smashing into a wall. Stone shattered. The man stood, blood dripping from his hand, his body shaking but his eyes locked on the beast. He had heard it. Not much, but enough. The hunter crouched low, its eyes burning hotter. Now it was angry. Now it would not stop. The boy sobbed, hugging his mother's glowing body. "Mama, please, wake up. He can't fight it alone." And then, for the first time, the woman moved. The street shook as the hunter leaped, its claws stretched wide, its jaws glowing with fire from deep inside its throat. The boy screamed, clinging to his mother. The human ran faster than he ever had before, his lungs tearing, his legs burning. But he did not slow. The mother's body floated just above the ground now, her chest blazing with symbols. Her glow pulled the hunter like a magnet, but it also held the boy frozen in awe. The human shouted, voice breaking, "Move." But the boy could not. The hunter's shadow swallowed them. At the last moment, the man dived, grabbing the boy with both arms and rolling across the dirt. The beast crashed down where they had been, smashing stone into dust. The ground split. The air roared. The boy coughed, gripping the man's shirt. "You saved me." The boy gasped. The man pulled him up, shoving him behind. "Stay down." The hunter turned, its tail sweeping like a spiked whip. The man ducked, the tail smashing a wall behind him into rubble. Stone rained around them. His heart pounded. He had no sword, no gun, no armor, only his body, his will, and scraps of stone from the broken street. The beast lunged again. The man grabbed another shard of rock and slashed at its face. The stone cracked in his hand, but the beast reeled back, roaring in fury. The boy screamed, "It's angry." The man spat blood, his chest heaving. "Good. Let it be angry at me." The hunter's eyes locked on him now. Its hunger shifted from the glowing woman to the human who dared to fight. Its claws struck the ground again, faster this time. Man leaped aside, rolling through dust, his shoulders screaming in pain. He staggered to his feet, dizzy, but forced himself upright. Every breath was fire. Every step felt heavy. But he refused to stop behind him. The mother's glow pulsed faster, spreading into the ground like cracks of lightning. The air around her hummed, sharp and electric. The boy cried, pressing close to her. "Mama, wake up." "Please," he cannot. Fight alone, the hunter turned back toward her. Its nostrils flared, catching the glow scent again. Its wings stretched, preparing to strike down on her glowing body. The man's heart froze. He knew if the beast reached her, it would be over, not just for her, but for the boy too. He roared with all his strength and charged. He slammed into the beast sighed with nothing but his body. The hunter staggered half a step, surprised by the attack. The man grabbed its spiked arm, driving the broken rock shard deep into the cracks of its skin. The beast shrieked, throwing him back with a swing of its wing. He hit the ground hard. The world spun. Pain lit up every nerve in his body. He tasted blood in his mouth, but he pushed himself up. Slowly, shaking. Alive, the boy cried out, tears streaming. "You'll die. Stop." The man's voice was ragged, but fierce. "Not while you still need me." The hunter roared again and charged. The man braced himself, lifting a piece of jagged wood from the rubble. He held it like a spear, though. His arms trembled. The beast lunged, jaws wide. At that same moment, the mother screamed. Her eyes burst open fully, glowing brighter than the storm. Her body lifted higher, her hair flying as if caught in fire. The symbols on her chest spread across her arms, her face, her whole body, burning like living flame. The hunter froze mid-lunge, its body shaking. It hissed, its hunger mixing with fear. The boy gasped. "Mama?" The human staggered back, shielding his eyes from the brightness. He could barely see, but he heard it, her voice, layered and strange, echoing with more than one tone. "The storm chose me," she whispered, though her lips barely moved. Her hand lifted, trembling at first, then steady. Light poured from her palm, sharp and hot, striking the hunter square in the chest. The beast shrieked, its armored skin cracking where the light burned. It stumbled back, wings flailing, claws tearing the ground in panic. The man's jaw dropped. He had never seen power like this, not from a weapon, not from a machine, not from any human. The boy clutched her hand, crying, "Mama, don't stop. Please, don't leave me again." The mother's face twisted in pain. Her glow shook, unstable, wild. She screamed again, the light bursting stronger. The hunter roared, half its chest burning away. It stumbled, crashing into a wall, tearing stone apart. The human pulled the boy close, dragging him back as rubble rained. The mother's body glowed so bright now, it hurt to look. Her voice echoed, broken, like two voices fighting to speak at once. "I cannot control it." The boy sobbed. "You can. You're strong. Please." The hunter rose again, broken but not dead. Its eyes burned hotter with rage. It leaped once more, straight for her glowing form. The man roared, charging forward again. He grabbed the broken spear of wood and slammed it into the beast's throat as it lunged. The weapon splintered, blood and fire spraying. The hunter shrieked, thrashing violently. The mother lifted both hands now. The glow surged out of her like an explosion. The street lit up, as if the sun itself had fallen into the village. The beast screamed. Caught in her light, its body burning from the inside. Its wings tore apart, its skin cracked, and finally, with a last roar, it shattered into dust. Silence followed. The air hummed, the ground smoking. The man collapsed to one knee, gasping, blood dripping down his arm. The boy looked up at his mother, eyes wide with hope. "Mama." But her body shook, glowing too bright, trembling out of control. She looked at her son with eyes full of love and fear. Her voice broke through the silence. "Take him, human. Take him now." And her glow surged again, brighter, unstable. The dust of the hunter still hung in the air, glowing like ash from a fire. The boy's small chest heaved, his silver tears streaking down his face. The human knelt nearby, bloodied and shaking, his chest rising and falling like a hammer. But the world was not quiet. The mother's body hovered above the ground, glowing brighter than the burning sky. The strange symbols pulsed across her skin, flowing like rivers of fire. Her eyes blazed, not silver, not gold, but something beyond color live with storm. The boy whispered, voice breaking, "Mama?" For a moment, her gaze softened. She looked at him, and he saw her. Not the storm, not the light, just her, the mother who once sang him to sleep, who once held him when he was afraid. But then the glow surged again. Her body trembled, her hands shaking as arcs of lightning ripped from her fingers into the ground. The earth cracked open. Stones split. The air hissed. The human staggered to his feet, pulling the boy back. His voice was low but urgent. "She isn't stable. That power, it's breaking her apart." The boy shook his head fiercely. "No, she's alive. She's back." The mother's voice carried across the street, but it was layered, as if two beings spoke through her at once. "The storm chose me. It filled me, but I am not strong enough to hold it." Her face twisted with pain. She clutched her chest, the symbols burning brighter, spiraling faster. The glow spread from her body into the ground, crawling like roots of fire racing across the street. The boy stumbled toward her, but the human grabbed his arm. "Don't. The light will burn you." The boy fought against his grip. "She needs me." The human's voice was harsh, but his eyes were full of sorrow. "She needs saving, but not like this." The mother raised her head again, her glowing eyes locked on her son. Tears, real tears, slid down her cheeks, glowing like liquid silver. "My child, I hear you, I feel you, but I cannot stay." The boy shook his head wildly. "No, don't say that. We can stop this. We can." Her voice trembled, full of love and fear. "If I stay, I will destroy you." The boy fell to his knees, sobbing. His small hands slammed against the ground. "No, I don't care. Please, don't leave me." The air thickened. The glow around her body grew wild, unstable. Cracks of light shot into the sky, splitting the red clouds open. Thunder shook the heavens. More hunters shrieked in the distance, answering the storm. The human stepped forward, his hand shielding his eyes. His voice was heavy, steady. "She's becoming a beacon. Every beast out there will come. If she loses control, this whole village will burn." The boy stared at him, desperate. "Then help her. You promised." The man froze, his heart clenched. He remembered his words. "I won't leave you." He looked back at the mother. Her body glowed brighter with each passing second, her form almost dissolving into light. But her eyes, those eyes still searched for her son, still clung to love. He took a step closer. "Listen to me. You can fight it. Stay with him. Stay with your son." Her body shook violently. Her voice cracked, echoing like thunder. I cannot hold it. The storm is too strong." The boy screamed again, his voice breaking the night. "Mama, please, don't go. You are all I have." Her head tilted back, her body trembling as if caught between life and death. Then she whispered, softer now, her true voice breaking through. "I love you, my child, and that is why I must let go." The boy screamed, trying to run to her, but the human held him tight. His arms like iron. The boy kicked, punched, sobbed, but the man would not let him move. The mother spread her arms wide. Her glows surged, blinding. The air tore apart, the ground splitting beneath her. The hunters in the distance shrieked louder, but none dared come closer. The boy's cries cut through the storm. "Mama, please don't leave me." Her eyes met his one last time. "You are not alone. He will protect you." The street was silent. The storm had faded. The sky no longer red, but dark and heavy, as if even the heavens mourned. The hunters were gone, scattered by the mother's final burst of light. Only ashes and broken stone remained dotted in the middle. Of the ruins, the boy knelt in the dirt, his glowing tears falling onto the ground where his mother had stood. He sobbed, his voice cracking again and again. "Mama, Mama, please come back." The human stood behind him, bloodied, bruised, and hollow. He had seen death before, but never like this death that came not from weakness, but from love so strong it destroyed itself. He closed his eyes, the weight of silence pressing against him. The boy turned suddenly, fists pounding against the man's chest. "You said you would help. You said you wouldn't leave us." His small fists struck again and again, but they were weak, shaking. The man let the blows land. He did not stop him. He only looked down, his voice rough. "I didn't leave, and I won't leave now." The boy's strike slowed. His hands dropped. His body collapsed against the man, his sobs muffled in torn fabric. For the first time, he let himself lean into someone else. The human wrapped his arms around the boy, holding him steady. His chest ached, not from wounds, but from something deeper. He had promised long ago never to feel this again, but the boy's cries had already broken that promise. Minutes passed in silence, broken only by the boy's trembling breaths. Finally, he whispered, his voice raw. "She told me you would protect me." The man nodded slowly. "I will." The boy looked up at him, his glowing eyes filled with grief, but also something else, trust. "But what if they come back? What if more hunters come?" The man's gaze lifted to the sky. The clouds were still cracked with faint light, the echo of her power still drifting. "They will come." That light carried far. "Something greater than hunters will hear it." His voice hardened. "But when they come, we will face them. Together." The boy blinked, wiping his tears with a trembling hand. "Together?" The man nodded. "I promised your mother." "Tony, Mama says." Tony boy's lips trembled, but a faint spark lit in his eyes. He whispered, "Then I will fight too. I will grow strong." The man's chest tightened. He looked at the small figure before him, fragile yet burning with determination. He knew the path ahead would not be easy, but he also knew he could not walk away. He placed a hand on the boy's shoulder, firm and steady. "Then we start now." The boy nodded, his tears still wet, but his jaw set with new resolve. He turned to the place where his mother had vanished, pressing his small hands into the dirt as if trying to feel her warmth one last time. "I will make you proud, Mama." The human stood beside him in silence, letting the boy speak to the ashes of light. His own eyes stung, though no tears fell. He had buried too many faces in his past, but for the first time, this loss was different. It was not the end of something. It was the beginning. As the night deepened, faint whispers carried through the air, voices not of villagers, but of something far beyond. The storm's echo had reached the stars, and somewhere in the vast dark, beings listened. The man felt it in his bones. The mother's sacrifice had not only saved her son, had awakened something larger. The fight had only begun. The boy rose to his feet, wiping his face, his small fists clenched. What now? The human looked at him, his eyes hard but calm. "Now we walk. We leave this place before more come. And when they do, we'll be ready." The boy nodded, his glowing eyes filled with fire. "Okay." He took the man's hand without hesitation. Together, they stepped away from the ruins, the night silent around them. Behind, the village remained quiet, its doors still shut. No one came out to thank them. No one dared. But that no longer mattered, for in the silence of loss, something new had been born, a bond stronger than blood. The boy had lost his mother. The man had lost his past. But together, they carried something the hunters could never touch: hope. And as they disappeared into the dark horizon, the stars above flickered. One light, brighter than the rest, blinked alive in the sky. A sign. A promise. Her sacrifice was not the end. It was only the beginning.